Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to the live session. Today is December 4th, 2020. Happy Friday. We're going to be going over some of the trades we had entered and had on our radar, and then more importantly, prepare for next week. So if you have any questions, send them on YouTube and I'll get to them at the end of the session, and let's get to it. So today was the NFP results. We'll go over that first. So, mixed results, as in we added less jobs than forecasted, around 240K less, but we did drop unemployment rate to 6.7%. So look at the dollar index. Based on that mixed reaction, we didn't really have much movement. We actually created a double bottom, so we may see a potential retracement back up to 91 flat, but overall we're still bearish on the dollar index, and our long-term target is this bad boy right here, 88.88, which is these lows, and then our further long-term target is this 2018 low of 88.74. So overall we're still keeping that bearish stance on the dollar. It just matters of how quick we get there. Holiday season is rolling around, so I think we may get to here. Here is wishful thinking, but at least to here by the end of the year, hopefully. So based on our analysis, for much of the week we were bearish, at least from up to here, and the dollar index had a pretty easy time going lower. The only issue is some of the majors weren't just ready to go higher. So one of the majors that was ready to go higher and that we're holding is Euro USD. So here's a long idea. We went as far as around 59 pips into profit. Currently we are up around 30. We're just holding this trade. We have secured a good percentage of our profit. Our stops are at break even. We will hold this trade over the weekend and see what we can get. Worst case, we'll just get stopped at a break even, but we're still fairly confident in the bullish bias. I think we may get a pullback, which is due. The weekly candle, it's still slightly bullish, as the bottom shadow or wick is still longer than the top one, but I would love for the top one to get closed off. But too bad we only have around a few hours left in the trading day. So hopefully over the weekend, that bullish momentum comes back in and can go to this upside target, 1.25 400. So if you look to the left, it's this high right here, and you can see why we're targeting it. We had a hard time really clearing this 2017 high. We tried to do it before back in August, failed, and then we started to range in this kind of range right here, and then finally price broke out. So that's why we took this trade. So we'll keep holding this and see what happens. Worst case scenario is we get a pullback, we get stopped at a break even. But if we get signs of life again near 1.2100, we can just re-enter long to target this high. Okay. The next trade idea was for NZD yen. This is given, and it just became active this morning actually. We wanted to pull back. We have a nice bullish hammer, and we're going to go long for this trade as well, since we're bullish on the New Zealand dollar. And our overall target is this kind of high right here, this last high. If you go to the weekly, you'll see that price was in a downturn, and we're just looking for the next high to clear. We've already cleared these two highs, so the next logical high is this one here. So hopefully that momentum kicks up. As the dollar goes lower, NZD USD will go higher, and theoretically NZD yen should as well. Similar to Euro, we spent a lot of time ranging for a few months until price finally broke out, and we've already cleared two significant highs, so I'm confident eventually we'll go up higher. It just sucks that entry became active today, but you can't really decide when the markets give you entry. You just have to be patient. And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you'll see that we reacted to this level perfectly. As soon as we touched it, we had an immediate bullish reaction. So next week we'll be looking at this as a potential trade to enter. I would love to enter now actually, but It's Friday, so it's no real use of forcing a trade. But this is a trade idea that I think will be beneficial to enter, and the R2R is 3.27 on this trade, so not bad at all. Next, we have Aussie dollar. So if you look at Aussie dollar, here it is. Again, just became active this morning. Um, Kind of a common theme for things to happen on Friday. But again, all we were looking for was a bullish closure above 0.7400, and you can see we have a nice bullish hammer. We have a bearish hammer on the pullback. This is a nice trade to target this high up here, 0.77400. If you look to the left, you'll see why we're targeting that high, right? You can see all this resistance up here. And honestly, price, this is one of the pairs that should explode to the upside. It should just completely rocket up, especially since it's come down from this bottom support zone. I think price does want to go and attempt these highs eventually. So um, hopefully we get entry. I mean, not only entry, but it starts moving next week. If you just look at your calendar, next week we have it's the 7th to the 11th, and then after that we have the 14th to the 18th. So I think by December 18th, the weekend before Christmas, things will become pretty much dead, right? And it's gonna stay that way until at least through New Year's. So it's obviously gonna be a matter of luck. You need some luck in trading. Sometimes the setups become active and they move. Sometimes become active and they don't move. All you can do is make sure you're on the right side of things. So Aussie dollar long is still on the table, and we were supposed to enter long this week, but price never became bullish enough until today, so that kind of sucks. But this is a setup for next week as well. And then we have Aussie yen. Right, so here was a setup that was given. This is in some minor profit right here. You can see it should push up later next week. Again, as Aussie dollar goes up, theoretically Aussie yen as well. From entry, we're right around 45 pips. Pretty decent daily closure here, as well as the day before yesterday here. And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you see this is the candle right here. This is the candle that was going to be entered on. And price pushed up, came up here, created this high, and then came out at entry. So theoretically, you can enter again long right now. This is the pullback we wanted. We have a nice bullish reaction. But again, it's a Friday, so you just take what you can, secure your profits, and then we can re-enter next week. And we'll see what happens then. And then we also had a few trades for the cryptos. For example, Ethereum and BTC. So BTC, I'm waiting for the all-time high to get cleared on the daily time frame. Still waiting on that as price kind of ranges. But this was the trade idea given way back to the start of the month. And we just took profits as we went up, as we went up, as we went up. Here I made sure everyone took 90% of their profits off the table just because we were so close to the all-time high and we created a double top on the smaller time frame that I thought we'd control the greed and just secure as much as we could. But BTC, the next target is 25,000. We just have to clear 20K on the daily or weekly time frame. And then comes Ethereum, which is pretty easy to monitor as well. That long idea, right? Look for bullish signs of bullish life down here. We gave this at the end of November, start of this week, and just wait for bullish reaction, and then you can see prices simply went up to our target. The same analogy or logic applies. We're waiting for price to clear this high now at 625 to target 800 as the new target. If you look at the weekly, you'll see why. This is the next sort of high or lower high we want to target, and the momentum for Ethereum is perfect. It's nice. So the worst thing that could happen is that BTC goes up, the Ethereum lags, or Ethereum goes up and BTC lags. But at least one of those setups is ready to push up to the next level. And I think it might be BTC because the weekly candle for Ethereum didn't close too bullish. You have a very long upper wick, and that might be a sign of a possible retracement. So we'll watch out for that. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, we had a lot of setups that are on the horizon, even for gold, for example. All right, so here's our gold short, and what we wanted to do was wait for some sort of rejection at this entry point. And again, we got it this morning, so it's kind of a bummer, but this is what we wanted. You can see price has pulled back to our entry point, and you can see these doji candles and this this shooting star candle, which is a good indication of a headed lower again. So next week we're going to target this low for gold back to 1766. All right, so I'm gonna do some pair recommendations if there are any. On YouTube, just let me know. I'll quickly check that now. One second. It's actually a funny story. I'll just tell it while I'm doing this. So I have an iPhone, right? And the the Apple charger stopped working yesterday around 11 p.m. And so I had all these other knockoff chargers that just wouldn't work. So I have a dead phone, so I'm relying on one of my older phones to get through the day until I can go get that charger. So that's why I'm reinstalling YouTube on this old phone so I can look at the chat and see if there's any other recommendations. I can use, I'll just use a different tab on YouTube on the desktop, and I'll just go that way. So let's see. Morning. Good morning, everyone. Any questions? Just looking to learn what to look for in general for best pick. Morning, Rahul. Morning, Concord. What pair do you expecting for trade at this session? That's a good question, Concord. Well, it's a Friday, so technically nothing. I'm just gonna be holding Euro USD throughout the weekend. But the setups we covered in the past few minutes are going to be the ones that I'll be looking at on Monday morning, which is typically when we start to prepare for the week and actually look for entries. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, so let's go over actually a pair of interests. I had an alert. GU. So GU, this alert got active in the morning, but honestly, still being a bit reluctant to go higher. But we know pound is very volatile, so there's a pair that's going to move. This is the one. Although it's dealing with Brexit topics, but for the most part, all we wanted was to clear this high at 1.35,000 to pave the way for a move up to 1.43500 now. If you look at this week's weekly closure, it's not bad, but it's not the most bullish candle you'll see. So there is a chance that over the weekend we use this level as resistance. So come Monday morning, I'm going to see what happens at this level. If we can actually clear it on the 4-hour, 8-hour daily time frame like this, then that's perfect. Then we can enter long, right? If not, then we're going to have to kind of be patient and wait for that to occur. And to be honest, to be honest, that's going to be a setup that might surprise us because it doesn't look ready right now. But that's the thing with pound pairs is sometimes they kind of just impulsively move up or move down, and you just have to be ready to. You just have to have it on your radar. So I'll put an alert here for those that are interested in trading pound. It's going to be at 1.35200 and crossing up. And let's see if price can take us to the promised land, which is up here. Another pair that I wanted to talk about was USD CAD. We haven't talked about it in quite some time. We can see that sell-off I mean, it's crazy. It's almost too aggressive. But this does make sense with the ever bearish dollar. And if you look, we now have an entry point, which is right here. So actually remove all the drawings to keep it simple. So you go on the monthly, you can just kind of draw out the important levels of interest. So here's one, here's another, and then just plot this weekly level right here, which we're at right now. And this is why we could get entry next week. So once you draw that, if you go to the weekly, you'll see that you can get entry. So last time, price came down to this level, which is right at 1.27780. Price jumped up. Now this time around, we're coming in with full force, very bearish, huge bearish candle to this level. So if next week we can get a daily or even 8-hour closure below this level, that should pave the way for a move from here all the way down to here. You can see that's happened multiple times. Once here, another time here, another time here, another time here. So that's all we need. It's a simple trade setup that way. And once we break this level, there's no real support between here and here. So that's where price will be magnetized to. And again, we've talked about in the start of the session, we're bullish for the dollar in the short term, the long term, and even the longer term. So USD CAD shorts next week could be a nice addition to what we have already. And to put an alert would be right around here. I'm going to put it at 2.77700, crossing down. All right, and a lot of our trade setups are focused on the majors. We have a few minors. For the yen pairs, I'm still sticking with my bearish bias as more and more vaccine news comes out. That's going to typically reduce the impact that safe haven currencies have. But for the most part, I think bearish yen to end off the year, bearish dollar, and a lot of the euros, Aussies, and NZDs will have a nice few weeks till we hit the holidays. So Concord Mustafa asked, do you think we will get good correction by Euro USD? Well, it determines by what you mean good. Do I think there's a retracement coming? Absolutely. We go back to Euro USD. So here is that high from 2017, right? And then here is that downtrend we were in from 2018 all the way to 2020. Then price came up here and started to range. There was no real trend here, right? So you can see price created a high in August, but then we never came up to that high until now, right? We broke above that high and above the 2017 high. So that's really good signs because we cleared two significant highs in a matter of a week. Now, if you look at the daily time frame, you can see the candles kind of tell you there may be a retracement on the way, especially with this shooting star candle right here. A shooting star candle appears after an uptrend, and we are in an uptrend, so this may be a good indication of a pullback. So we may have a pullback back down to this high of 1.20100, and then we can look for signs of going back long. Now, if price does dip back below somewhere here where the stop loss region is, then I may be reevaluating our long idea. But for now, I think it's okay. We already have stops at break even, so it's nothing too major. But that's what hopefully that's what you meant by a good correction. It's only a correction of around 37 pips, so it's nothing. It's not a drastic retracement, but it's a respectable one considering we've had this huge candle, this huge candle, this huge candle. We were due for a pullback, right? Pullbacks are normal. Here's a pullback. Here's a pullback. Here's a pullback. This is a pretty steep pullback, but pullback nonetheless. Here's a pullback, and sometimes you may have smaller pullbacks, despite a shooting star being up here or whatever. So that's what I think for Euro. I'm gonna stick to the bullish bias. The only way Euro and all the majors would melt is if this double top becomes a serious issue. So this double bottom. You see this double bottom on dollar index. If we make a push back up to 91 flat, that could lead to some serious losses in the majors. But if we go somewhere here, that's not bad at all because we had a nice week of selling, so we were due for a pullback, right? We had almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last 6 out of 7 days, the dollar was shorted. So if a pullback's on the way, I don't think it's a reversal, but hopefully for us, it's not deep all the way up to here. But we'll see what price does on Monday. All right, so I think that comes to the end of the session. If you enjoyed today's session, I highly recommend you actually join all of our sessions. And the only way you can do that is if you become a paid member. And it's very easy to do that. I'll show you how, and also give you a free coupon code to get 50% off. So here's how you do it. So 2 to 3 times a day we hold price action and smart money trading sessions. So I'm the price action trader. My friend Institute Trader does smart money, which is institutional trading, and we break down the markets, give trade ideas. On top of that, we have around 10 signal providers providing quality trades around the clock. So not only do you learn, but you also earn, and it really fast tracks your journey as becoming a profitable trader. So to take advantage of this promotion and to become a member and see all the live sessions and all the content, go to forexlens.com, click Forex Trading Room, click Get Started. This is for our monthly option, the Apprentice. Fill out this form, click Next, and then enter this coupon code first 50 to get 50% off your first month. So it will only be $73.50. If you need a deal for some of our longer term packages, for example, a 3-month or yearly, just chat with our live chat agent and she'll help you out. All right, so that brings us to the end of the session. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Hopefully, I see some new faces on Monday.